The explosion hits before the warning. Your cockpit fractures in a web of glowing cracks. Alarm scream. Red light floods everything. The stars outside twist. No. Rewind, stretching backward like they're being dragged into a wound. You know what comes next. You slam your hand against the override panel, but it's already too late. The fleet around you, hundreds of human warships, detonate in perfect sequence. Not chaos. Not randomness. A pattern. The same pattern. Again. Your breath catches as the enemy appears. Black, geometric shapes phasing into existence like they were always there, just waiting for time to catch up. You whisper the words before the system does. Temporal reset in 3, 2. You close your eyes. 1. Everything snaps. Silence. Then, you're back. The cockpit is whole again. The fleet is intact. And the war hasn't started yet. But it will. It always does. Your hands are shaking again. You grip the controls tighter, like pressure might anchor you to something real. It doesn't. It never does. The fleet drifts in formation ahead, clean, untouched, unaware. Command chatter fills your comms. Calm, structured, hopeful. It makes your stomach turn. Because you've heard all of this before. Every word, every breath, every false sense of control. You check the timer on your wrist display. 13 minutes and 42 seconds until first contact. You whisper it under your breath like a curse. 13 minutes until everyone dies. Again, you weren't supposed to remember. At least, that's what Command said during the first loop. Back when you thought it was just a glitch. A one-time anomaly. Back when you begged them to listen. They didn't. You remember screaming into the comms, warning them about the enemy's entry vectors, the firing pattern, the exact second the flagship would split in half like glass. They told you to stand down. To get a psych evaluation. To stop compromising morale. So you watched them die. Then you watched them die again. And again. And again. You stopped counting after loop 30. Now you don't warn them anymore. You just prepare. You've tried everything. Different flight paths. Early attacks. Retreat signals. Sabotaging your own fleet to force a delay. Nothing changes the outcome. The enemy always adapts. Like it remembers too. A flicker runs through your console. For a second, just a fraction. A symbol appears. Not human. Not part of your system. Sharp. Angular. Alive. Then it's gone. Your breath catches. That's new. The timer ticks down. 11 minutes and 3 seconds. Something just changed. And for the first time in countless loops. You feel it. Uncertainty. The symbol comes back. Not on your console this time. On the stars. For a split second, the entire void bends. Lines carving themselves across space like something is writing directly onto reality. The same sharp, alien geometry. Watching you. You pull your fighter out of formation. Command immediately snaps at you. Unit K-17, return to position. You don't respond. Because this never happens. Not in any loop. You boost forward, engines screaming as you break formation. The fleet behind you stays perfect. Obedient. Doomed. The timer hits 8 minutes and 12 seconds. Too early for first contact. But your chest tightens anyway. Because space ahead of you ripples. Not like a jump gate. Not like warp. Like something is peeling it open. Then it appears. One ship. Alone. Black. Massive. Silent. No fleet. No formation. Just it. Your system glitches the moment you lock onto it. Targeting fails. Sensors collapse into static. Even your AI co-pilot goes dead quiet. You feel it instead. A presence. Focused. On you. Your comm crackles. Not command. Something else. A voice, layered and fractured, like multiple versions speaking at once. You are outside iteration. Your breath stops. You persist when you should collapse. Your grip tightens. You don't answer. You don't know how. The ship pulses once, and suddenly your fighter lurches forward, dragged by an invisible force. Your controls go dead. Engines unresponsive. You're being pulled. Inside. No, no, no. The hull ahead of you opens. Not mechanically, but like matter is dissolving into itself. Your ship slides into darkness. The stars vanish. The war vanishes. Everything goes black. The voice returns, closer now. Deviation detected. Your heart pounds against your ribs. I didn't choose this. You snap, finally finding your voice. You're the ones resetting everything. Silence. Then, no. A pause. We are correcting. The darkness shifts. And suddenly you see it. Thousands of versions of the battle. Layered. Overlapping. Every loop. Every death. Every failure. All happening at once. And in every single one, humanity loses. Your breath breaks. This war, the voice continues, must end. A cold realization creeps in. By erasing us. No. Another pause. By removing the anomaly. Everything stops. You feel it before you understand it. The focus tightening. The system isolating. On you. You're not surviving the loop. You're causing it. And now, they found you. The darkness compresses. Your ship begins to tear apart at the edges, particles unraveling into nothing. You scream, slamming useless controls. I'm trying to stop it. Silence. Then the voice, final. Certain. You will not repeat again. Everything collapses. Not like a reset. Not like before. This feels permanent. And for the first time, the loop doesn't trigger. You're still alive. That's wrong. You open your eyes slowly, expecting the cockpit to be gone, expecting nothing. But you're there, floating, not in space, inside something. The interior of the alien vessel isn't solid. It moves, shifts, like liquid geometry constantly rearranging itself. Surfaces breathe. Angles slide into new angles. No clear floor. No ceiling. And your ship, it's fused into it. Half your cockpit is gone. The other half is embedded inside the structure, like the ship is being absorbed. Your controls flicker back to life. Barely. Enough. You force your hands steady. Think. Every loop, you reacted. This time, you act first. You reroute power manually, bypassing half-burned circuits. Your fighter responds with a weak hum. Not flight ready, but not dead. Good enough. The alien structure pulses again. And suddenly, you feel something inside your mind. Not words. Not exactly. More like pressure. Trying to read you. You grit your teeth and push back. You felt this before. In fragments. In echoes. Across loops. You were never just surviving. You were adapting. Every reset didn't erase you. It refined you. You close your eyes. Focus. The memories align. Loop after loop stacking into something sharper. Patterns. Timing. Weak points. Not just in the battle. In them. Your eyes snap open. The shifting walls around you slow. Just slightly. But enough. You see the rhythm now. This ship isn't random. It's processing. Calculating. You reach into your control panel and override your targeting system manually. You're not locking onto a physical object. You're targeting a cycle. A pulse. There. Every 3 seconds, a core node stabilizes before shifting again. You fire. The blast doesn't explode. It interrupts. The wall in front of you freezes mid-motion. For half a second, everything stops. The pressure in your mind spikes. Then fractures. A sound tears through the ship. Not audible, but felt. Like something is breaking across multiple layers of reality at once. You fire again. And again. Each shot lands perfectly. Because you remember. Because you've lived this war 100 times. The structure around you destabilizes. Pathways open where there were none. The ship starts losing coherence. You push your engines. They scream in protest, but they respond. You move. Not escaping. Advancing. Deeper. The voice returns, but it's different now. Distorted. Unstable. Interference. Increasing. You don't answer. You keep going. Because now you understand something they don't. You're not the anomaly. You're the correction. And for the first time, you're winning. But as you push deeper, something flickers ahead. A chamber. Still. Unmoving. At the center. A structure unlike the rest. Solid. Permanent. Your instincts scream. This is it. The core. The origin. You move closer. And the moment you do, a signal hits your comm. Not alien. Human. Clear. Familiar. Stand down. Your blood runs cold. You know that voice. You've heard it every loop. Right before the fleet dies. Command. But that's impossible. Because you're not in the battle anymore. And yet, the voice repeats. Sharper. Closer. Stand down immediately. The chamber begins to open. And something inside it wakes up. The chamber unfolds like a wound opening. Layers peel back, not mechanically, but like reality itself is stepping aside. The shifting geometry halts completely around it. Stillness. Absolute. At the center, a human ship. Your breath catches. Not just any ship. The flagship. Command's vessel. Intact. Untouched. Suspended inside the alien core like a preserved memory. Your comm crackles again. Unit K, 17, You've gone too far. The voice is clearer now. Colder. You drift closer, heart pounding. That ship was destroyed, you whisper. I watched it explode. Every loop. A pause. Then, no, command replies. You watch what we allowed you to see. Your stomach drops. The walls around you flicker, and suddenly, the truth overlays everything. Not one battle. Not one loop. Thousands. Simulated. Controlled. The fleet. The war. The deaths. All of it. Constructed. Your breath becomes shallow. You're not fighting an enemy. Command continues. You're inside a system. Your hands tighten. A system designed to test one variable. You already know the answer. But you still ask. Me? Yes. The word hits harder than any explosion. Rage surges through you. All those people. Not real. The response is instant. Clinical. Copies. Iterations. Disposable constructs. Your vision blurs. You're lying. But deep down, you feel it. The patterns. The repetition. The perfection of the failure. It was never a war. It was a loop designed to break you. Or refine you. You were the only one who retained memory across resets. Command says. An unexpected anomaly. Your breath shakes. You adapted faster than predicted. The alien walls around you begin to stabilize again. But now, they feel different. Not hostile. Aligned. You think they're your enemy. Command continues. But they're part of the system. Observers. Enforcers. The voice sharpens. And now they've done what we couldn't. Your pulse spikes. They isolated you. The chamber brightens. The flagship at the center powers up. Weapons charging. Pointed directly at you. You've reached peak viability, command says. Maximum adaptability. Strategic perfection. Your mind races. This wasn't about winning the war, you whisper. No. A pause. This was about building someone who could. Silence crushes everything. Then, you've served your purpose. The flagship fires. You react instantly. Not panic. Not fear. Precision. You already know this moment. You've lived enough variations of it to see the angles before they happen. You roll your fighter sideways, diverting power into a microburst thruster. The blast grazes past you, tearing a chunk of the alien structure behind. You fire back. Not at the ship. At the core. The stable structure beneath it. Your shots land. Perfect. The chamber fractures. The alien vessel convulses. The flagship flickers. Then stabilizes again. Stronger. Adapting. Just like you. Your breath steadies. So that's how it is. You're not the only one who learns. Command's voice cuts in again. You can't win this. You ignore it. Because now, you see the real pattern. Not the war. Not the enemy. The system. Every loop wasn't random. It was narrowing. Focusing. Driving you here. To this exact moment. A final test. And there's only one way to pass it. Your hands move fast across the console. Overriding everything. Engines. Weapons. Core reactor. You feel the ship strain beneath you. Command notices. What are you doing? You don't answer. Because for the first time, you're not reacting to the system. You're breaking it. The reactor screams as you push it past every limit. Warnings flood your vision. Core instability. Imminent collapse. Perfect. The alien structure reacts instantly. Walls tightening, geometry shifting, trying to contain you. The flagship fires again, relentless, precise. You don't dodge this time. You move forward. Straight at the core. Command's voice cuts through, sharper than before. Stop. This ends the system. You laugh. Dry, broken. That's the point. Another blast tears through your wing. Systems fail one by one. Oxygen drops. Heat spikes. But you don't slow down. Because now you see it clearly. This wasn't a test to create a soldier. It was a filter. Every loop stripping away hesitation. Fear. Doubt. Until only one version of you remained. The one willing to do this. You think you're ending the loop, command says, urgency cracking through for the first time. But you don't understand what's outside it. You tighten your grip. I've seen enough inside. The core is right in front of you now. Stable. Untouchable. Except, you remember the rhythm. Every system has one. Even this. A single moment. A single weakness. You wait. Everything slows. Your heartbeat. The ship. Reality itself. Then, there. You trigger the overload. The reactor goes critical. Light consumes everything. For a fraction of a second. You feel it. The entire system collapsing. Layers of simulations tearing apart. The alien presence shattering. Command's signal cutting out mid-sentence. Silence. Then, you're still alive. Your eyes open slowly. No cockpit. No ship. Just darkness. Endless. You try to move. You can't. There's no body to move. No breath. No heartbeat. Just awareness. A voice emerges. Not command. Not alien. Something older. Calmer. You have passed. The words echo through nothing. You have proven termination capability. A pause. And then, the realization hits you like a second explosion. This wasn't the system. This was the training. For something else. Something bigger. You are now ready. The voice continues. To be deployed. A flicker of light appears in the void. A new battlefield. Vaster than anything you've seen. Galaxies burning. Civilizations collapsing. And something far worse than the enemy you thought you knew. You try to speak. To resist. But you feel it already happening. You're being shaped. Again. Stripped down. Refined. Not into a survivor. Not into a soldier. Into a weapon. The voice softens. Almost approving. Iteration will resume. Your consciousness begins to fracture. Memories slipping. Loops collapsing into fragments. You fight it. Desperately. But this time, you feel yourself forgetting. The war. The loops. The truth. Everything. The last thing you hold on to. The one thought that refuses to disappear. You weren't the survivor. You were the product. Darkness closes in. And somewhere far away, a new timer begins. 13 minutes and 42 seconds.